She said that I should pick a dress that made me look prettier and not as fat. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I am the Grinch. Just because you're there performing doesn't make you an entertainer. You sing badly. No one wants to hear you singing. You've ruined Christmas. Hey guys, happy holidays. Today's episode, we are diving into full force with the festivities. Now, when it comes to this time of year, you have the holidays coming up, you got gatherings coming up, family, friends, and it's supposed to be a warm and wholesome time. And there are traditions being brought up, but sometimes when it comes to tradition, not everyone's on board. In today's episode, we're going to figure out whether or not OP's in the right or wrong for calling out some of the traditions. Let's get into it. This story is from the subreddit Am I the Hole? Am I the hole for having my cousin thrown out of my wedding for not wearing white? I thought this was an interesting twist. Usually it's the big, at least I think it's a more Western thing, or I guess American thing, that only the bride gets to wear white. But it seems like this is the opposite case. OP says, I, 28-year-old female, got married 2 weeks ago and I'm still getting backlash from what happened. So I'm here to see if I'm really in the wrong. My husband and I decided to have a child-free white wedding where the guests are in white. I personally don't like to wear white because I always feel that no matter what I'm doing, something always manages to get me dirty. So my dress was not white, but blue. This all started when I decided who would be in my bridal party. I chose 2 friends from middle school, 1 from high school, my 16-year-old niece, and my cousin. Since I was having a child-free wedding, I didn't want anyone under the age of 18. But my whole family knows my niece is my one exception. Ooh, OP, very, very brave for challenging some interesting traditions, I'd say, for a wedding. So OP is the only one not wearing white, and I'm assuming the groom isn't either. It's an all-white wedding and no kids allowed. Interesting. I am very much usually bride and groom should do whatever they want. It's their event. But there is definitely a line between you want an event that's you, but you also want an event that's comfortable for guests. I'm a little bit nervous because for girls, I don't think the all white dress code is as bad just because there's so many available white dresses out there, even more casual white dresses. That's a thing. But I'm thinking, all white, does that mean all the men have to wear white also? And I don't know, maybe I'm not that in the know with men's fashion, but are white suits that versatile? What do you think?
I guess I would have to say no. I personally don't own a white suit.
I haven't seen much of them. I've seen them when there's a specific dress code. Now, you guys might hear Mr. Deep Voice, or M as you call him, chime in from time to time, but I told him to chill out in this episode because he's currently sick, guys. So he's Mr. Extra Deep Voice today. So I told him to try to save his voice a bit. I am leaning towards OP is in the right. At least it's okay for her to have an all white wedding. I just hope she makes it very clear in the wedding invite. And that I hope she's clear that some people might be turned off by that. I'm expecting some family members to have something to say about it. Now, OP continues, when we went to the dress shop to pick out dresses, I informed my bridesmaids that they would be in black to match the groomsmen. Everyone was on board with the color and we found a dress that fit everyone, and the top could be adjusted for comfort. Everything was going great until my cousin asked why my niece was getting the same dress. So I told her she was a bridesmaid. Cousin said she assumed she was there for a flower girl dress since I'm not inviting anyone under 18, and if I needed another bridesmaid, her daughter could do it. I told cousin no, and her daughter's a guest. Things got awkward, but we were done, so we left. And I took my niece out and explained she was a bridesmaid and that wasn't changing. That's so weird to me sometimes when it's usually a family member that does it too. When a family member goes, "Wait, who's a bridesmaid?" Oh, well, no. My kid can be a bridesmaid. Or no, how about I pick the bridesmaid for you? That's so weird to me. I I mean, I can kind of see where cousins has that attitude of, no, let me tell you how to do this. But let's see. Everything was going great after that until bridal dress shopping. At that point, I had done a lot of research to find a dress style I liked and who had the color I wanted or could get it. I went to the appointment with my bridesmaids, my parents, and in laws. Everything was fine, but I didn't like anything I picked until my mom found a dress I didn't think I would like, but ended up being the one, and they could get it in my color. We were all happy until my cousin said something that made me snap. She said that I should pick a dress that made me look prettier and not as fat. Oh, girl, if there are a list of things that you should never say specifically to a bride in her wedding gown, I think this would be it. Like the specific combination that's deadly for me is, oh, why don't you pick a dress that's would make you look prettier and not fat? Like, hello? Is this are you sure your cousin likes you? Like, it seems very weird that she's made up kind of all these little jabs. Like, taken alone, it's not as bad. But when you combine everything cousin has said during this whole wedding experience, it's kind of intrusive, nosy, mean. Ugh. Opie says, I blacked out and said a bunch of things I shouldn't have, then kicked her out of the bridal party and the wedding. A few days later, my aunt, who I love and respect, called to ask for my cousin to be invited as a guest. I did feel guilty about the things I said, so I said yes. Fast forward to the wedding, and it was my turn to walk out, and the first thing I see out the corner of my eye is gold. My cousin sat in the middle row on the aisle in a gold strapless dress. How she looked? Oh, Opie shares an image. Oh my gosh. Okay, when I was thinking gold, I was thinking more like a subtle, maybe gold shade, not a full on metallic bodycon gold dress. So Opie attached an image of the dress. Okay, obviously not on theme, definitely not white. See, I feel like even though generally the consensus is, oh, don't wear white because the bride usually wears white to a wedding, there are other colors I tend to avoid that I think universally people would try to avoid. Like, for example, if this were a traditional wedding and bride was wearing white, OP was wearing white, I would say, okay, well, you don't want to wear champagne. You don't want to wear pale yellow because on camera and in person, depending on the lighting, sometimes that looks white-ish. Cream, you don't want to wear. Yeah, beige, like that's a no-no. Like all these shades that are too close. Gold is just obnoxious. Okay, clearly this is not a common color. You thought about it, you looked at it, and you went, "This is the one?" Yeah, I think cousin definitely doesn't like you. I think she's trying to I don't know if she's trying to prove something, but she's trying to make a maybe not so subtle statement, OP. OP says, I wanted to cry, but we continued on, and once we were finished, I told my wedding planner to have her kicked out and kept away. A few think she could have stayed, but others think she should have followed the dress code. My aunt thinks I could have asked her to leave instead of having security throw her out and embarrass her. Am I the a hole for throwing my cousin out for wearing gold, not white? I do have a feeling we will disagree today, guys. I have a feeling. I actually don't think OP's a hole. Did she go overboard a little bit? Yes, but I think it was warranted. If it was just the one thing of showing up in gold, then yeah, maybe OP should have taken her aside and said, hey, I'm not comfortable with you wearing this and showing up in all the photos. Like, please follow dress code. Can you go and change and come back maybe or something like that? But we have to remember this is almost like strike three. First, she made the comment about the whole bridesmaids thing. Then she made, well, then the bigger thing deal, in my opinion, is she said what she said about OP in her wedding dress. And third, showing up in gold, that's just, that's bold. And she was sitting in the aisle. So I'm thinking the way OP explains it is usually in a wedding ceremony, you have like a mini walkway in between where the bride and groom walks down after they say their I do's, right? And it's typically a photo op moment where the photographers are there taking lots of photos. And the most prominent people, other than wedding party near bride and groom, are usually the people who are sitting right in the aisle. So the fact that cousin is sitting right smack dab in the aisle in bright gold, I think it's intentional. I think, OP, you were protecting your peace by telling security to remove her. Because what would have happened if you took her aside? I highly doubt cousin was going to say, oh, my bad. I totally didn't realize. I will do as you say and go home and change. I'll be right back, cuz. Be real. Be real. I feel like it would have become some sort of, a scene. there would have been maybe worse things thrown around, maybe a lot of verbal arguments. You don't want that on your wedding day. You don't want that drama. I think OP did what she had to do to have a peaceful rest of the wedding. I don't know. Some of you guys might think I'm overboard, but let's see some of the comments. First comment, everyone sucks here. Quote, I personally don't like to wear white. Oh, I have a great idea. Let's force everyone else to wear white if they want the privilege of coming to my wedding. Yeah, that's a bit of logic I can't get my head around. Cousin isn't a-hole also. Oh, interesting. So this post was marked everyone sucks. And I'm looking through, doing a quick glance of the comments. Most of the people saying everyone sucks and why bride or OP is also in the wrong is because she's enforcing an all white dress code. I have to say I disagree. Hear me out, guys. So, reason one is okay. I like that everyone can collectively agree. Yeah, cousin sucks. She's clearly trying to sabotage something with the wedding. But OP's question was, am I the a-hole for having my cousin thrown out of the wedding for not wearing white? To answer her question, no, I don't think that like the dress code wearing white has nothing to do with her action of throwing cousin out, if that makes sense in a way. Like, look, it's your wedding. You decide a dress code. I mean, some people do costume parties. And I know those are controversial because then it's almost like, oh, so now the guests have an added burden of dressing a certain way. But to be honest, once you accept an invitation to a wedding to be a guest, you don't have to accept, right? You don't have to go. I feel like it's almost like you attending an event, you agree to whatever the event is. You don't go to an event and then expect everyone to cater to you. I see kind of it's conflicting because some people are like, well, now I have to buy a whole wardrobe. Like, let's be real. At least for the ladies, I know a lot of women will buy a whole new dress for every wedding they go to. It's not like you guys are reusing dresses, girls. Come on. I mean, some do, some do. But on the other hand, coming from someone who really dislikes wearing white for the same reason of, dang, I always end up eating red pasta when I'm wearing white and I hate getting a stain. I feel the pain. So I'm very conflicted because on one hand, I'm like, no, bride, get that wedding that you've always wanted. Yeah, sure. If you want everyone to wear white and maybe the bride and groom wear black or whatever color you want, you do it. But then on the other hand, I see it from the guest perspective. Dang. At least for the guys. I don't know why I'm more concerned about the guys trying to get a all white suit just because I don't see those as common, but maybe they are for all I know. It's one day. If you want to go, just the code. That's my take on it. But I'm surprised at how many people are so pissed about it.
Yeah, at least the way I see it is that, yeah, all white is unusual in my opinion,
Yeah.
at least for the guests to wear. But I think I agree with you in the sense that if you're gonna accept the
Really?
invitation to go to the wedding and you know the dress code, I think it's then inappropriate for you to show up in something else. Especially you're the only one that showed
Yeah.
up in some other outfit, especially gold, and to make that
Uh,
like your protest against it. I don't think that's what it was.
oh, it could be actually.
Uh, Given all the conflicts that OP had between, I guess, OP and the cousin, to me that was clearly intentional.
Oh, yeah. What bothers me is I think metallics is a rarely seen color at weddings too, like the silver, gold, like that type of shiny fabric. It's just unusual.
Yeah. So in this particular case, I have to disagree with a lot of Reddit commenters, I guess, in the sense that yeah, you accepted the
You
invitation.
don't have to
You know the
go.
dress code. I mean, yeah, there might be some kind of pressure for you to kind of
Right.
accept it and go there anyways. But you're gonna be the a-hole if you're gonna show up in something else, especially that's something that's completely doesn't match the dress theme, I guess.
Ah,
So I at the same time, like the whole wearing white and then the cousin showing up in a different outfit is more or less two separate issues here.
yeah, right. Like replace like maybe OP is a little bit of an oddball for her dress code, but
Sure.
replace it with any other dress code and then
Yeah.
cousin shows up not in dress code. I think it's justified. I'm surprised by how many people are so pissed about the all white dress code in the wedding.
Yeah, like absolutely, that's not my cup of tea as well. But at the same time, in my opinion, that is a separate thing. That is a separate issue.
Yeah. So we have some comments. So second top comment here. Everyone sucks here. I just can't get past the combination of this narrow dress code and your acknowledgement that it sucks. Ah. And a lot of comments are still saying, oh, I wouldn't go to a wedding with an all white dress code. It's a wedding, it's an event. You don't have to go. It's an invitation, not a mandatory attendance thing. I've heard of costume wedding parties, right? Or themed wedding parties, even. Harry Potter wedding theme. That's a thing. I think those are so much harder, but I also think they're fun. Now, okay, I get it. Up to you if you want to go to a Harry Potter themed wedding, for example. But if we were invited, I would be so excited, to be honest. Would I be slightly annoyed if the requirement was like, I don't know, everyone needs to wear a blue velvet wizard hat and a cape? I'd probably be annoyed because it'll probably be harder to find. But after accepting, I feel like it seals my fate, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I can see someone can make the argument to say that the cousin wearing gold is still related to OP's choice of all white attire.
No.
But in this particular case, I mean, who are you kidding? These are two separate things.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's history between the OP and the cousin.
Oh,
I think it's just
yep.
OP. Oh, not OP, but the cousin is just it's another jab, in a sense.
That's so bold, though. I don't know why weddings are usually where it's particular between family members or close friends. No one ever wants to just air it out like before a big event. It's always at the event and it's like, boom, this is the moment you want to make a statement. That's just scary. If one of our friends or family showed up, now, no, Em and I do not have an all white dress code at our wedding. Before you guys ask, if someone shows up like completely on the opposite spectrum or over the top at our wedding, do you think we would kick them out?
I think depends if we had a some sort of dress code. If someone showed up, I don't know, let's say we have a black tie event type of thing, and someone
Yeah,
shows up in shorts and a t-shirt,
I'd
then
be
I would
pissed.
probably feel some sort of way, right?
Would you say something to them or would you just let them be there?
Depends. I think I would ask some questions to see why this is the case. Maybe they had like a huge emergency or something like that, and they're gonna go change or etc. They just wanted to stop by, but
They
if
just wanted to stop by at a wedding. It was
I
so
don't know, like
casual.
I can't,
Hey guys, I'm just here for 5 minutes.
yeah, I can't come up with a good reason right now, but maybe there's a reason for it. But if they intended to, stay the whole event like that, I would feel some sort of way.
See, I think the gold dress thing is almost as bad as the cousin showing up in another wedding dress. I would definitely say something. And I don't think I would be subtle about it. I would just say, okay, are you going to go change? Or or do you just want to leave? Because we know everyone at our wedding, right? We invited them because they're our closest friends and family. So if they're going to do that, I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, that would not be an accident in my opinion.
Yeah, it would not be. Oh, I'm surprised. So I scrolled down a little bit and like 5 comments out, we do have an opposing opinion. This comment says, not the whole. Good God, I do not understand the favorite pastime of this sub passing judgment on tangential information that is not related to the question. Just because OP comes off as unlikable, who cares if OP is a hypocrite about wearing white? That's not what she's asking. I say not the because cousin knew the dress code and intentionally violated it out of what can only be assumed is spite. She was in the bridal party and knew the vision that OP has for her wedding. So I don't think having her kicked was an issue. I feel justified. I'm like, are we the only ones that see this? Like, ah,
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's as well like kind of side note here,
hmm
but I do see a lot of stories on Reddit that people seem to hone in on kind of details that are not really, I would say, particularly relevant to the story or the question that's being asked.
I think it's because OP here does seem like unlikable as a person.
Yeah,
Like
with
the way she
yeah,
presents. So
but
then
I
people
mean,
feel like
yeah,
that.
like I see that as well. But
Yeah.
the question,
Right. Answer the question.
what is the question here, right?
Yep. I have to say, this is a rare case where I pretty much very much disagree with the commenters and what Reddit's verdict is on the story. Now, you and I may have disagreed on the story's conclusion and whether or not OP was in the right, but I think one thing we can both agree on is if you enjoy listening to more Reddit stories like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, guys. Thanks. It helps a lot with the channel. Now, our second story is our Wild Pick. Wild Pick is a story that's a little bit kooky, a little bit chaotic, but once I saw it, I was thinking, this is one that I want to hear your thoughts on. So the story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the a hole for turning off a performer's speaker in a Paris metro? Okay, before we dive into this one, what are your thoughts on subway, metro, or like public transit performances? If you have ever taken anything, I don't know, public transit, at least like for example, New York is a pretty popular place for it, where if you go in the subway, you see clips of it all the time on the internet where they have dancing or like singing performances or magic shows. Like basically lots of different performances happen. And usually it's from people who are just kind of jumping in, doing a quick performance, to what some might say as a captive audience because they can't really leave, usually, with it being in a train or underground or wherever. What is your thoughts on this? I have to admit, as someone who used to have public transit be my regular everyday commute, I found it so annoying. I'm sorry. It is so annoying. I am all for, yes, you do you. If you love this singing or this instrument and you're passionate, go be your best self. But can you go be your best self elsewhere? Because it's not like I can cover my ears or turn away or leave. You know, like I'm on my commute. This is where I have to be to get where I need to go. But then I'm kind of stuck here because now you're like doing break dancing and all this stuff in front of me with a loudspeaker. And I'm just like, I just wanted to get to work, you know, in peace and quiet. But maybe that's just me. So I'm very curious what people generally think. Do you guys find it annoying or do you find it entertaining? Have you ever seen any of these like public performances?
I've seen them, but at the same time, I have not experienced enough of them to, I guess, find them that annoying or a nuisance. So for me, I guess my comment, I don't think it holds much, I guess, value or much because at the same time, I'm not a like everyday commuter, I guess.
Yeah.
So I
So
can't say if whether after experiencing that every day or multiple times per week, I guess, or
so it
however
depends.
often, right? Whether you people
Yeah.
will find that a nuisance or not.
So I think it depends. I think obviously sometimes you'll have people on in public transit that are watching in the audience that they're like they'll clap along or they'll encourage the performers, which I think is normally the etiquette. And I am for one usually like to follow that. But man, once you've seen enough, I'll be honest, saxophone players, um, electric guitarists, wannabe singers, and I say this because just because you're there performing doesn't make you an entertainer. Let's put it that way. I'm sorry, some people cannot sing. Please don't subject me to that torture. I'm sorry. Okay? Just no. Or I've had ones where it's like they do martial arts, which are kind of cool, but usually sometimes they get really loud or they become very like physical and it makes me nervous. Because depending on sometimes you'll have someone who is a little bit pissed off maybe and they'll say something about it and then sometimes it can become a sort of argument between this one audience person and then the performer and it's just like hey I'm just here. I just wanted to get to work on time and in peace and quiet. So for me, it's a tad annoying. I've never done anything about it though. But let's see. Opie says, hello there. I was sitting in a Paris metro car and two guys came on board. The first with an accordion and the second with a microphone and a speaker. The second guy had the speaker and the microphone and was standing next to me. My condolences. Opie, you should play the lottery soon because your luck is uncanny. It is amazing. You not only scored an accordion on your transit. You scored a microphone and a speaker as a second guy. And as if to, tie this all up nicely, he's standing next to you. I feel so bad for you already. Oh, oh no. Opie continues, the speaker was pretty loud, and the guy with the microphone was 25% hype man, 75% rapping in French. I don't like people imposing music on me, so in a very bold move, I turned off the speaker's power button. I had a short conversation with the microphone guy that went like this in French. Rapper, why did you turn it off? Me, because no one wants to hear your music here. Group of guys 20 feet away. Hey, we were feeling it, man. We liked it. Rapper, yeah, you liked it? The rapper accordion guy and I exchanged glances as we arrived to the next stop. The two of them got off and no one said anything afterwards. I was on the metro for another 5 stops. That's so bold, OP. Wow, you have guts. Of all the performances I ever witnessed, I have never had the guts to say anything, much less press a power button on the speaker. And I'm surprised that the other two kind of took it pretty well, the performers. They just kind of went, hey, why'd you do that? And then walked off afterwards. See, if this was in the US, I feel like this interaction would be, it would end in a fight and a brawl, and then the cops would be involved because this was so peaceful. The way they just went, why'd you do that? I don't want to listen to it. Okay. And then they left. Okay. Oh, no, OP's gonna grace us with his question, which I'm pretty sure we all know that where this is headed. OP says, my question to you. Was I the a-hole in this situation? I'm leaning towards yes, but at the same time, I don't like when people perform on public transportation, and I feel like I'm being held hostage. P.S. I actually like street performers and donate to them when they're good, but I'm very much against people busking in places where you're trapped together. Also, I probably would not have done this in New York City, for example, because there would be a much higher chance for a physical confrontation. Opie and I are on the same wavelength. I, although, Opie, that was a jab, another jab right there. I like street performers and donate to them when they're good. I hope the performers don't find your post, OP, because that's hilarious. You basically have said that they're not good in like 3 different ways. Um, I would agree. OP, I don't know. Are you the a-hole? I don't think so. I think you stood up for yourself because you're standing right next to the guy with a mic and the speaker. You're being subjected to a performance you didn't sign up for. And it's not like you could walk away because you're stuck in the car until your next stop, right? Unless you're getting off the metro car, which I assume is like a bus, to get onto another bus, which why would you do that when you paid for the fare just as everyone else did? I feel like this is one of those situations where it's like, oh, like you're a what is it? You're a Grinch. Humbug. No one gets any joy. No, down with festivities and singing and music. I don't I'm sorry guys, maybe I am the Grinch. Maybe I am Scrooge because Opie did what would not have the guts to do, and I feel like he did it for the good of the the rest of the car who probably agreed with him but didn't have the guts to do it. I don't know, is that bad? Like, I usually don't condone, okay, don't touch anyone else's stuff. It's not yours. Or ignore the mild inconveniences to avoid bigger confrontations. If you don't have to pick a fight, let's not pick a fight type of thing. But man, that's annoying. I'm just picturing someone who's singing and rapping very badly in front of me. And I'm just sitting next to a speaker, like, when will this be over? And you had 5 more stops. You don't know when they would have stopped their performance. I'm glad you shut it down. Maybe that'll teach them a lesson to not do it to a captive audience. I think that's the key word. If they were in the public, like just normal pedestrian walkway, for example, or the streets, right? Doing it, OP would be the a-hole for touching the power button and messing with it because he could literally just leave the public area. In this case, you're forcing a whole carload of people to listen to you, regardless of whether or not they want to. So, you know what? Performers, you guys suck. Not only musically, but car etiquette wise? What do you think?
I think I'm kind of with you on this one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. One key thing here is I don't know whether OP should have touched the speaker and turned it off.
Well, that's the big question.
At the same time, I don't know what the laws are in Paris, I guess, or France
Yeah.
in general, whether that type of behavior is allowed to basically play music or entertain inside the metro cars.
I don't even know if it's allowed in the US. I wonder if it is. I feel like even if it's not allowed, it's not really an enforceable thing because what are the like I can't imagine cops on metro stations or like here, right? In subways or trains or public transit, would they really like step in if someone were singing? Was someone was singing? I don't know. I've never seen it happen. That's why I'm saying that because no one has ever stopped any of the performances I was part of, unfortunately.
I somehow think that's probably illegal.
I think so.
I don't know who,
I think it's
if anyone actually
allowed.
enforces it.
Yeah.
If there was a police officer there, and probably something would be said, but I don't know. Maybe I'm
I feel like it would be
wrong here.
impossible to enforce. Because can you
Wow.
imagine New York? Like New York is like the hub. New York City is like the hub of busking performances, especially in public transit. Can you imagine? Like it would literally be a group of policemen's dedicated job alone to just, is that guy singing on the train again? Yes. All right, I'll go get him. Sir, you can't sing on the train. But why? You sing badly. No one wants to hear you singing.
I mean, it's probably has to do with noise, right?
Noise pollution. It is noise pollution, which, man, that would burn. Imagine you're, I don't know, imagine you're someone who really likes singing or performing, and you think that, oh, this is your chance to get out there and perform to a group of people, brighten up their day. And then people are like, boo, you're ruining my day with your sing. That's so sad.
Yeah.
In other countries, like I've seen videos where South Korea is one of them. They have a specific area where it looks like where certain times it looks like some people are allowed to busk in public, but it's not on a train or something where people can't leave
Yeah, which
voluntarily.
would make sense to me.
Yeah. But I don't think there are any spaces like that here. Unless would you count the park? I've never seen anyone performing in the park like that though. Usually it's a street corner.
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy it more if it was more voluntary and not as intrusive. I think that's my verdict.
Yeah, I think it's a different ball game if it's in the, I guess, in the park or out in the street versus in the train where you can't really leave easily.
Yeah. Now let's see what the comments say. First comment, risky move, dude. There have been cases where metro beggars, performers, pickpockets followed and assaulted citizens who called them out. They usually travel in groups and some just silently sit in the crowd as backup. You say something to one of them and 10 come out of nowhere and surround you. Be careful. Wait, this actually sounds dangerous and kind of scary.
Yeah.
Not to critique public transit metro car performers, but if you can't take one person's critique, maybe this is the wrong industry for you.
The way I see it now, it almost seems like it's a business. It's for people to make money, and
Oh, you think it might be wait, a scam? Or you think
well, it's not really a scam. I guess I guess I wouldn't maybe put it the same level as beggars, I guess, or
oh, not like the
pickpocketers,
common
right?
yeah.
But it is still, I don't know. Is it an illegal way of making money technically?
I mean, depends on who you ask. If you ask the US IRS if these performers are paying taxes
Yeah,
on
but
their
like there are other
performances.
things you cannot do in public just randomly. I'm pretty sure you can't just go and sell, like, I don't know,
Ah.
the items out randomly out in the street, or I don't know,
Oh,
various things, right? You shouldn't be kind of doing it without like a license or a dedicated place to do it, right?
you'd be surprised though. Like I've been sold carrot cake on like homemade carrot cake on the like public transit before. And students buy it. It's usually some shady looking dude because, it's not like he's dressed like a hello, I'm strawberry shortcake selling you cakes, right? He's more like dressed like, usually he has like a paper bag, like a just like a giant paper bag or a tray even. And he's just like, hey, do you want some cake? And a lot of students actually buy it
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that
because they were good.
people do that, right? And It's kind of mutual benefit, I guess.
Yeah. Like,
But
I'm fine with that, though. I see, that's it's probably not legal, but fairly harmless, I
fairly
wanna
harmless
say.
until, someone gets poisoned or something like that. So you
I
never
mean, that's
know.
true. Well, I feel like the minute someone does that, though, it kind of ruins it for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
That's why we can't have nice things.
that sucks. So, OP actually has a little update here. OP says, "Update, thanks for your input. This was my first post in Am I the A-hole? And I was actually curious as to what other people thought. My takeaway here is that I should not have touched the guy's equipment, and I won't do that in the future, almost certainly. By the same token, many people are not fans of people playing on public transport when there's no escape." I like how he referred to as no escape. But it's best to not overreact, and there's also a chance that you're putting yourself at risk by interfering with performers. Cheers. The shade. Obi is so full of like casual, subtle shade. I like that. It's so funny because he's like, when you're performing, nowhere to escape with these performers. I donate when there's actually good performances. So much shade to this like duo, this rapper singing duo. Another comment, not Theo, but wow, that could have gone really badly. I absolutely hate these performers that come on the metro. I don't mind them busking on a street corner, but let people commute in peace. Yes, let the commuters commute in peace. Opie responded, yeah, definitely a first for me, but I don't think I should do it again. Maybe, but I still really dislike people forcing commuters to pay attention to them. Most of the comments actually say, um, voice their concerns and say not the a-hole to OP. I'm confused on why this post is actually marked as everyone sucks though. So maybe the initial set of comments thought OP was the a-hole for interfering. But yeah, I would agree with at least the current comments, which is concern for your safety, OP. Probably shouldn't do it again. But we share your annoyance. It is very annoying.
Agreed.
I just realized something. Am I the annoying performer in your life? So, guys, I like karaoke. Now, before you have any expectations, let me just lower them a lot. I am not a singer, but I do enjoy a good karaoke, especially rage songs. Like wait, who is it? What's a song that I like? What is it? Carrie Underwood. It's a Carrie Underwood song. Or like Skater Boy songs or My Happy Ending by Avril Lavigne. Those types of songs I really enjoy to sing in karaoke. And not like a dainty singing, but like a rage type of hype singing, I guess. And guess who gets to watch all my performances from the comfort of our own home?
Me.
Do you like to hear them though?
Well, yeah, I guess because we're.
I saw the
I guess
hesitation.
we're both signing up for it, right? We're singing. We're both listening. Not that I would say we're not that great of singers, but at the same time, I wouldn't, given the story, I wouldn't go to a metro and sing it in front of everyone.
You don't. So you're telling me you've never had the urge to be like, what would happen if I hit the power button right now as V's singing?
Yeah,
You've never had that urge? You don't
no,
want to escape from me?
I don't.
Oh, that's good. Our next story is something a little bit fun. We bring it more festive with a birthday party. The story is from the subreddit AITH. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife our nieces and nephews shouldn't blow out candles at everyone's birthday parties? So OP says, before I get annihilated in the comments, just hear me out. My wife and I have two nieces and one nephew who are 5 to 6 years old. For the past several years, it has been a family tradition that the kids get to blow out the candles first at anyone's birthday party, whether it's mine, their parents, grandparents, etc. The kids will demand to blow out the candles first before the actual birthday person. If they do not, interesting. A deluge of crying and screaming will follow. At first, it was fun and cute when they were really little, but now as they've gotten older, their attitudes about it have gotten way worse. For example, at my party last month, her family demanded the kids go first, and when they were trying to blow out the candles, the little boy jumped the gun and blew out most of my candles, which caused the two girls to cry uncontrollably. The boy then started crying because he didn't get to blow out more. Afterwards, I told my wife that I think this family tradition is stupid since it reinforces the fact that the world revolves around them and that adults will give them whatever they want. I told her I have no problem throwing parties for their birthdays, which is something I didn't even get growing up. But making them the center of attention at every adult birthday party is ridiculous since it reinforces a false reality that the world revolves around them. Am I the a hole for thinking this way? I don't think so. I don't have any huge attachment to blowing out my own birthday candles at all. Don't get me wrong. But I have a bunch of nieces and nephews, guys. And if you have ever seen kids blow out candles, it is not the dainty little like TV and like music video blowing up candles where they're like, a little soft blow and then all the candles like are gone. No, when I tell you it is a whole, I don't know how one misses the direction of the candle. But for example, my one nephew, he's a little kid. I get it. But kid, there's like 10 candles and you're telling me you can't blow one out on the first drawing? He will literally spit at the cake from 10 different directions before he gets to one candle blow. It's just he's trying his hardest. But it takes us so long to blow out one candle. And by then, the entire top layer is probably like full of his DNA. You've seen it.
Yeah.
It's very unappetizing, guys. I'm just saying, like, love my nieces and nephews, but it's so gross sometimes. I'm like, and they've done it when they were kind of sick too, which makes me feel even like worse because I'm like, ah. Once again, am I Scrooge? I feel like this episode is revealing that perhaps I'm a weirdo and perhaps I'm a Grinch of an aunt, perhaps. Why are you nodding? Excuse me? Emma's over here like, what do you mean? What are you nodding? This stresses me out a little bit because it's almost like you want to help them, but then you can't help them blow out the candles because that's part of their fun. But then it takes them so long. When I tell you it takes so long for the kids to blow out the candles, it's to the point where the wax from the candle is already dripping into the icing. And I'm just here like, can we just get them one of those like one candle, like the singular number candles where they just have one giant candle to work on next year?
We need like a whole decoy cake.
Yes. Oh my God, that's such a good idea. Maybe perhaps we should start getting kids like a little like baby, like, they have lunchbox cakes now, which is like just a cake that's the size of a lunchbox. It's cute. Put that little candle, they can have that cake to themselves and let the adults have the rest of the nice cake without the sea of spit on top. I can't be the only one who's ever thought about this, right? Right? I mean, it's just, why? And then the other thing with this whole situation is I feel like in my family, there's definitely a lot of this where grandparents, adults generally are like, oh, well, we don't really care about having to blow out the cake, so let the kids do it. But then they never explain to the kid that this is a nice gesture, but they shouldn't expect it all the time.
Right.
So then the kids get used to it and they expect that, oh, it's someone's birthday. I'm going to open all the presents. I'm going to blow all the candles. And then they throw a tantrum when they don't get that. Some of my family members are guilty of this. And if you guys think that I'm talking about you, I'm not. I'm not. Don't watch this. I'm not talking about you or your kids, especially. Unless you happen to feel like this relates somehow. I don't know. Like, it's a pet peeve. I think it's become a pet peeve of mine at birthdays. I don't know. Does it bother you? Or is it just me? Am I overreacting?
I mean, personally, it doesn't bother me that much. But at the same time, I can see that it's just not a good behavior from the kid's side and the expectation that they have.
Access to all birthday things now?
Right. Or, I mean, what if they're at someone else's birthday? Like non-family, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
What happens then? Or some other kid's birthday.
I feel bad for the kids, though, in these situations because they just don't know what they did wrong. And then they go out and they do this and they're seen as the rude kid, like the bad kid.
I mean, the way I would personally see it is if they were my kids, I guess something I would, maybe you can ask. And if, they say yes, then sure.
What do you mean?
Well,
ask to blow out another kid's birthday cake?
not
at their
another
birthday
kid's,
party?
but someone else's. Like if it's an adult, like you can.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you can probably ask, and if they say no, well, then that's the answer, right? That's what you have to do. You're not, I guess, entitled to blowing every.
No, I don't
all the
like that
candles.
though.
No,
because you know what it is? Then it puts the adult in the weird position because when a kid asks,
I
it's
see
almost
that.
like, oh, that's okay. Just let little Johnny have be able to blow out the cake. It's okay. Grandpa doesn't mind. But then at what age does it get weird? At what point do you stop tradition, so to
I
speak.
guess so. I don't know. I guess thinking about it again, maybe it should just be if it's your birthday, you blow out your own candles, right?
Isn't that the normal?
Right. I
That
think that's the norm, and I don't know when did it become that the kids should blow out all the candles.
I don't know.
Because when I was growing up, that was not a thing usually.
You're right. It was the same
None
from
of the kids would
yeah.
be like, "Oh, I want to blow out all the candles." That would
Mm-mm.
that didn't like personally that didn't even cross my mind to do that as a kid.
Same. That's weird. I didn't realize that, but you're right. As a kid, like, I just thought, "Okay, it was my birthday, I'm gonna blow
Yeah,
it." If it's
exactly.
someone else's birthday, boy or girl, they're gonna blow theirs out. That's weird. Is that a newer tradition that's, I guess, more recent?
I don't know.
Is that a parenting trend? I don't know, because I feel like this is one of those things where, I can see why OP's asking if they're the a-hole, though, because 'cause they're definitely seen as, "Ugh, oh, look, someone's trying to ruin the fun. Someone's trying to take something nice away from the kids." Like, but I would be pissed too. Like, I don't care enough about blowing candles out, but if someone did it without asking me and then insisted on doing it, I'd be pissed. I might be a little bit petty. I might, like, remove the candles, relight the candles just so I can blow it again.
That is petty.
I would do it. I'll be like, "Well, time for a proper blowing out of candles now." So, yeah, yeah. OP, I don't think you're the a-hole. I actually think you're a pretty responsible adult for trying to set the record straight, for trying to not continue the bad habits for the kids. Because the fact that they're already throwing tantrums now about it, if no one's gonna stop them, are they gonna keep on throwing tantrums forever? Every birthday? That's just weird. First comment from Irrelevant Manatee. Not they all, those kids need to learn that they're not always the center of attention and they can't always get what they want. I agree. Another comment, not they all, teaching kids not everything is about them is an important lesson. Yes, because you know what happens when you don't teach kids the important lesson of not everything's about you? They become adults who think everything's about them. So I am very much into OP's style here. Oh, OP actually has an edit here to the story. Edit, thanks to everyone who commented. I believe every single person so far has agreed with me. I do want to answer a few common questions I've gotten. One, what do they do with other kids' parties? Honestly, I can't remember the last time they went to another little kid's party, and I suspect it is for reasons like this. Ooh, you don't want to be those kids. The kids that get excluded from all the kid parties. Two, what will happen when they're older? I suspect the same bullshit. I have a 35-year-old cousin who's like this and throws temper tantrums when she doesn't get a present on her sister's birthday.
Yeah.
35-year-old cousin? No way. I don't want to say there's an age limit for how childish you can act, but 35? I feel like that seems way past the limit for throwing a tantrum when it's your sister's birthday and you don't get a present. No? Is that just me? I just thought that's so embarrassing. Opie, I'm so sorry. And also, I'm suspecting that this is a tradition that your family does. So now everyone thinks it's normal. Wait, I have a question though. So let me get this straight. If the 35-year-old cousin is at a birthday party and say it's one of the nieces or nephew's birthday, who gets to blow out the candles? Do they Hunger Games style fight it out? Is there like an arm wrestle battle to decide? Do you guys blow out the same cake like 5 billion times because everyone needs to have a turn now? Like, and also, how many birthday gifts are you getting at your family birthday parties? Because then does that mean everyone gets a gift? Isn't it like that? What is it? Isn't that reference like the old Oprah show references where it's like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a prize.
Where
Everyone
like
gets a prize.
everyone's a winner type
Yes,
of thing.
everyone's a winner.
Participation trophy, like trophy, I guess.
Yes. You know what? If your birthday parties are like this, you can swing an invite our way. We will attend. We will help you. But also, I guess all guests show up and they also get a birthday present, right? By extension, everyone gets one. Now, let's see. There's another one. Opie, your grammar is kind of wonky. Question 3 was apparently people asked Opie, don't have candles, which I'm assuming Oh, I think it's a suggestion from the commenters, like, just don't have candles. So then no one gets to
Right.
blow out candles at the cake. Oh, that's so sad. That is so sad. OP says, yes, my wife and I are no longer going to have family parties for our birthdays. As a side note, we've tried to talk to their parents about these issues, but they all get super defensive and they dismiss our viewpoints as invalid because we don't have kids. Oh, that pisses me off so much. Oh, that, I hate it when people do that. I think OP was responsible by, not punishing the kids, but going to the parents and trying to talk to them about it. Of course, the parents get defensive. What else is new? But the fact that they said, no, your points aren't valid because you don't have kids. Having kids doesn't mean everything you say or do is correct. Having kids is not some sort of like holy trophy for having a better than thou moral compass. That's just not how it works. Like if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're an a-hole, you're an a-hole. Kids are not. Right? Like I hate the excuse where some parents do this. Not all, thankfully, but some will say, for example, we've had family members who are like, "Oh," like who will joke, "Why don't you watch the kids for us?" And we're like, "No, thank you. I'd rather not. Like I have plans this weekend." And they're like, "Why? You don't have anything else to do. You don't have kids." And I'm like, "I have a life. I have a life, excuse me. I don't want to be a babysitter. Like don't sign me up for your responsibility." Like, it's one thing if, I want to spend time with nieces and nephews or other family members or cousins or whatnot, their kids, and I want to hang out with them. That's fine. But do I want to be the sole adult responsible for their well being for a full 24 hours? No, 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 thank you. What are your thoughts on that, honey? When people say to us, you have nothing to do, you should watch my kids.
That's, I guess, my decision, any way you put it,
Yeah, it's your
unfortunately.
choice,
Yeah,
whether or
it's
not
my
you want to do
choice.
it. I just hate it when it's like you say no and they're like, why? You don't have anything to do. You have no kids. I'm like, there is a life beyond children. Like you lived it before. You should remember your time pre children. But that's my beef, guys. Let me know if you have had similar experiences with family, with birthday parties, or you know what? If you want, let me know what you did on your last birthday party. I'm very curious what traditions people have. Our last story is continuing with our festive trend is a Christmas story. This one is from the subreddit AITH. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that I no longer want my Christmas gift? For the past few years, I've wanted a very specific item. It's about $500. I don't like spending that much money on myself, and this isn't necessary to the household, so I never bought it. It would just be something to display, like an art piece. I'm going to leave out exactly what it is because it would be identifying. Oh, like a very expensive art piece. Interesting. Ope says, this year my husband announced he was getting it for me for Christmas, which I was slightly down about because it ruined the surprise, but I was fine with it. But he keeps talking about it and in the past month has made a lot of annoying comments. Quote, I could buy a new TV for this price. I could buy so and so for how much this is. You're only getting this, so don't expect anything else. And finally, today, I sent him something funny that I thought was cute, and he responded saying, quote, well, you're only getting this for Christmas, so don't show me anything else or I just won't get it. I'm getting such a massive ick from your husband, OP. Look, I love Christmas gifts too, but the whole essence of Christmas gifting is the thoughtfulness, the intention of wanting to gift someone something, well, not someone, something nice and making their day. It almost feels like Opie's husband is like holding it over her head and going, this is so expensive. I can't believe you want this. And it's almost like dangling it over her head. That's so freaking annoying. If you want to get your wife the gift that she's always wanted, get it for her and shut up. You know what he reminds me of? Your husband reminds me of like a child. I'm sorry. Like the whole nah, 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 nah. Like you're only getting this. Like that's the feeling I'm getting. Ugh. I'm getting such a massive ick. Also, my guess, OP, at first when you said $500 about, I thought you were asking for a Dyson Airwrap. To be honest, do you know what a Dyson Airwrap is?
Yes.
We are not sponsored, guys. But in the future, Dyson, if you're listening, I wouldn't mind a Dyson Airwrap to help with my hair routine that I don't have. It's basically okay, it is on the top of so many women's wish list this year. I think it has been for the last 3 years, to be honest, or something. It's like that, the set of hair tools, but it's supposed to replace all your hair tools. It's non-damaging hair curling or whatnot. I debated getting that. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I debated putting it on my wish list. I debated getting it, but then I'm like, you guys see my hair. It's like the same every episode. Who am I kidding? Would I really style it every day? Questionable. I like the non-damaging aspect, but $500, I think it is very expensive for a hair product, hair item. But at least I could use it. OP, $500 for an art piece? I will not judge. I'm sure it's a wonderful art piece, but dang, $500. I still don't agree with the husband though. But let's see what OP says. She says, I feel like he's treating me like a child. I'm not making him purchase me anything. I'm not asking him to get me this or anything else for that matter. I've said a few times that he doesn't need to get me anything for holidays. Just a nice dinner or a homemade gift from one of our children would be preferred. I don't like buying myself stuff in general, so I'm not out spending a crap ton of money. He's making me feel guilty, and I didn't even ask for this. He knows I wanted it because I joke around about it or have made comments, but I never told him to get it for me. Today was the last straw with the most recent complaint. So I sat him down and asked him to please not purchase it anymore, that I no longer wanted it. He kept pressing, asking me why, and I just said, I changed my mind. He was right. We could spend money on something else for everybody. It turned into a spat, and he finally got it out of me that he ruined it. I explained that he complains so much about it that if I ever opened this as a gift from him, I would just think about how much he did not want to get it for me. And every time I saw it on the wall, I think of how he was so annoyed that he had to buy it. So I'd rather he just not. He got super upset and said, I ruined Christmas. So now I feel awful. I was going to call him your husband the Grinch, OP, but at least the Grinch grew a heart. It's just the audacity. Who speaks to their loved one this way? Sometimes I hate to judge people based on the few paragraphs we hear about them, right? But how your partner speaks to you or how other people's partners speak to them, you can kind of guess how much affection is there or how well respected, or no, how respectful they are to their partners. I'm like, that's so nasty. So your partner was trying to be nice about it and tell you, you know what, don't get it for me. We can just do something for the family with that money. And you bug her until she finally fesses up. And she's like, well, you ruined for me. Thank you. And your reaction is, oh, you know what? How dare you call me on my behavior? You've ruined Christmas. I'm so annoyed. Why are there people like this? I'd be so annoyed. How would you react if you asked me for a gift and my reaction was, okay, but don't ask for anything else? Nothing else is coming out of this wallet.
Yeah, that's if you're gifting someone a gift, you shouldn't be acting this way or have those expectations. It's reminds me of those people that if they do you some kind of favor, then they're gonna keep on bringing it up.
Oh my gosh.
Like, not that I guess experienced it, but I've seen it enough on like movies and things like that where there are people that just honestly don't shut up about it afterwards.
Oh my God.
It's like they did the biggest thing for you that you're gonna have to be thankful for it forever type of thing. I don't know. It's just in my opinion, that's not the what do you call it? It's not the meaning behind the
Yeah.
gifting, right? It's not the intent of gifts, in my opinion.
I feel like maybe husband needs to watch a Christmas movie. Like every Christmas movie will harp about what is the true meaning of Christmas, the spirit of Christmas and the holidays. It's so, I agree with you. It's like the attitude of, I did this one thing for you a long, long time ago, usually, but I'm going to bring it up whenever it conveniences me.
But in this particular situation, like I agree with OP because the husband would have probably never shut up about it even after, let's say she got the gift. He would still
Oh,
bring it up afterwards and in some way, well, remember I got this for you. We could have done something else or we could have gotten something. Like, it's just,
that's so sad. I'm
it
so
is.
heartbroken for you, OP. I picked this story because it's Christmassy, but it has like zero Christmas spirit in it.
And at the same time, I also want to mention one point. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's a expensive gift, right? But despite that, that to me does not change.
Right.
It's a two separate things once again, like we had in the story earlier. Like this is the expensive gift is not even, that was not a must for the
No.
OP's husband to get, right?
This literally could have been like I don't know, like a $5 muffin or like a $2 muffin. And I think the argument still stands is that husband's an a-hole and went way overboard with his antics.
The whole reaction and all the commenting is just uncalled for in my opinion. I agree. If it's too expensive, it's too expensive. Like, just don't get it. Get something else. Maybe, and this is probably unlikely. Maybe OP is kind of also pressuring him to get it, but
Oh, because
although,
she mentions it sometimes?
yeah, which is that seems unlikely, but I'm just not ruling it out.
I mean, it could be possible he's feeling that way, but if so, you don't have to be a jerk about it still. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's pretty established that the husband's super unlikable just because of the way he's going about it. Although it does bring me back to memory. So I think our first Christmas together between Em and I remember I had mentioned that, oh, like I think we walked by a store or something, and I said, oh, I've always wanted like one of those Polaroid cameras because they take pictures, they print it out. It's on those like film. It's film, right? Film camera? Is that a film camera? I guess it is. But it's one of those like cute little, you see it in pastel colors all the time. All the girlies have it. And I remember we passed by the store and I said something like, I want to get this one day. Like, this is so cute, whatever. And I remember at Christmas, Em surprised me with it. But I literally only mentioned it once. So it surprised me even more because, okay, beyond me just loving the camera that I've always wanted, it was just a really nice gesture and I felt heard. And I think a lot of gifts are the same way where it's not even about the gift. Like, even if he gave me like a freaking cake that day, I would have loved it. Actually, yeah, I would have liked cake too. Now I think about it. But, or boba, that'd be so good. Or seafood or crab legs or something. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. That's a really good Christmas gift. I forgot what my point was. Oh, yes, it's not about the gift, guys. It's about the sentiment. At the end of the day, as long as there was some effort into the gift and I could see his intentions, that I would have felt touched all the same. I would have felt, all warm inside from his gift. But when it's a gift where you listen to your partner, that's also great too. Why are you smiling?
does it mean you want crab legs and seafood for Christmas?
I wish I could I wish there was like year-round membership for it. Now, OP says he loves Christmas and asks to be surprised by his gifts every year, which is why his behavior was so strange with us. It's like he felt forced, and I'm trying to tell him not to feel that way. I said to please just let the kids make something for me or for them to pick out something special. Now we're both upset, and I'm feeling like I should have just kept my mouth shut. This is such a stupid thing to worry about. I just also had enough of him complaining about it. This isn't what Christmas is about at all. I just want to spend time with my family, go to church, and watch the kids' eyes light up and have a happy day. I don't want to hear any of his complaints about getting this anymore. So, am I the a hole? Did I ruin Christmas? I now have a new theory about this husband. Opie, I think the reason why, even after you're saying, don't get me the freaking dang thing, I just want a gift from the kids or something, or a nice dinner for us to have a nice time together. I think the reason why husband is still harping on it is because now he feels guilty because you called him out on his BS behavior and he doesn't have a leg to stand on because he's the one that essentially ruined Christmas and ruined your mood kind of there. So he's projecting it back to you. That's my theory. As the armchair psychologist and judge that I am, backed by 0 years of experience, I think so. I think so. I think that's it. I think he's just pot calling the kettle black. Classic move. What do you think?
Potentially.
He's so annoying, OP. I'm annoyed for you. I can't believe this is what he's pulling at Christmas. You should have him watch let me recommend you some Christmas movies for him to watch. He should watch Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a good one. He should also watch no, Christmas with the Cranks would tell a different story actually. Don't watch that one yet. He should also watch Klaus on Netflix. It's one of my favorite more modern holiday movies. Such a good watch. And it's animated for him, for his childish taste. So, yes, he should watch Klaus. Um yeah, I think those should start him off on the spirit of Christmas. Maybe that'll help him. First comment, Not the whole. He ruined Christmas, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was complaining either to get you to change your mind and not wanting the gift anymore, or feeling like you owe him for getting it for you. Another comment, not the whole. You ruined nothing. His bitching and whining ruined it. Yes. Nothing ruins the mood like whining, to be honest. I hope he learned this lesson from this. I have a feeling husband probably hasn't. You know what's crazy to me though? The fact that he is such a big fan of Christmas and he wants to be surprised by gifts every year, but then will go and blab about your gift to your face and then complain about it weeks before leading up to Christmas. Like, what is the thinking? I don't know. I feel like this is one of those classic cases of treat others how you would like to be treated. Why did he not just adhere by that simple principle of let's not shout off the rooftops like what you're going to get your wife when you already know she wanted this and then complain about it? Like, why is that so difficult? Wife wants something. If you want to get it for her, get it and shut up. Most of the comments are saying not the a-hole, and I agree. So, although there was a questionable morale of a Christmas here, I hope you guys are getting into the holiday spirit with our stories today. And if you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like this episode and hit subscribe, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you very soon. If you're listening to me on Spotify, though, don't forget to rate this 5 stars. Thanks, guys. Bye.